What's going on, guys? So today we're going to be taking a look at the new fitness CP tree. This is the red tree. So previously in the current patch that we have right now, the red tree is for damage reduction and kind of tankiness. The blue tree is for damage and healing, and the green tree is for sustain and cost reduction. With the new PTS that they're coming out with, damage reduction and damage and healing is all in the blue tree. The green tree is like for PvE stuff and like not really much PvP, besides maybe like one or two things that could be used, but they're not directly impacting PvP or any damage reduction or anything like that. And then the red tree is now your sustain tree. So that's kind of what's changed since then. The red tree is not as valuable as it once was. They basically just put everything into the blue tree. But if you guys want to see what the blue tree is, the warfare tree, I have a video, I just did it, so check it out. But the red tree is honestly not too bad. I actually looked at it a little bit more. So let's get into it. So like I explained into the blue tree, so there's these things called you can add to your champion bar to activate. They're called slottables, and then these are passives. So these you have to slot, and these are like passives, right? The ones that don't say add to champion bar to activate. So these are the slottable, and these are not. So these come by just investing points, and you just get the bonuses. So at one point in time, you could only have 4 of these slotted. So if you want the health bonus and then you want the armor bonus, so sure, we'll do that. And then we'll slot this. Slot to the second one. And then now what if you want the recovery, right? So we want the recovery, so that's going to be another 50 points. And then we assign it and then put it there. So now that's 3 gone. And so now we're not even gotten into the rest of the tree either. Like we haven't gotten any of these. So basically what happens is you need to pick and choose on what you really want. Honestly, I think the rejuvenation is very, 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 very important. This gives you some health, magic, and stamina recovery. So it'll help you with your overall sustain. Next, I think the armor stage is probably going to be the best one. 34 armor, so you're going to do that by 50, so it's going to be quite a bit of armor, a little bit, and then you're going to have boundless vitality. This is going to be your health stage. I think this is pretty important for PvP. You may as well pump this up to 50 points if you're going to put it on. Really, that's like kind of how it's going to have to be played. There's other ones like Peace of Mind, which I think is pretty good for a slottable, but let's just go to the beginning and let's go through. So right here we have the reduced cost of sprint by 20%. It's okay. I don't think it's really great, but so we'll go. So basically, to get to this tree, you have to invest 10 points into this one. So you see I have 9 points, and it won't let me put any points in here. But when I put 10, it opens it up. So now you can either go, so put 10 points into here, and then or 8 points. So my bad. It says 8 points. So he says spend 8 to unlock. Okay, so now from here you can go 2 different ways. So this is, I think it's probably going to be the most viable way to go. Is going to go put points into here, put points at 8 points, and then put points into here to get your health up. So what this does is this is going to give you quite a bit, actually a bit of health. And what you could do is you could take this passive out if you're not at damage. If you're like a DPS PvP build, trying to kill people, you don't really technically maybe even need this. So you can maybe use those points into here and maybe get this Peace of Mind passive instead. So it's all really preference, honestly. So you obviously want some tumbling, probably take it up to like 30, and then you go get this one, reduce cost to break free. Obviously you want to put some points into that, and then you can get this one to give you the the recovery. So that's really how you get these. And then you come up here. Slippery, I don't think this one's really going to be that good. So when you're affected by a disabling effect, you automatically break free for no cost after using this effect. I mean, if you have enough champion points, but then again, you have to slot it is the only thing, and I don't like that. What I am very, very sad and disappointed about is the Unchained. So I think this needs to be changed a little bit. I think that Unchained doesn't need to be connected with this. I think Unchained should be first, because Unchained while it's alright, it's very nice to have in PvP. But I have to invest 100 points to get this. I mean, if you have enough champion points, then that's okay. But I shouldn't have to waste 50 points just to get this. Like, I have to put 50 points in here just to unlock it here, right? And I don't think that's, I mean, I guess, but I mean, but for these, like rejuvenation, peace of mind, you know, like this is actually somewhat usable, and this it really isn't. And you have to slot both of these. You don't have to slot this one, but you're gonna be wasting 50 points, which is kind of stupid, but it's whatever. So then we have Juggernaut. While immune to crowd control, you take 2% less damage. So I think like a possible setup would be the armor, rejuvenation, peace of mind, and then this one for damage reduction. But you know, it's kind of really whatever. It's honestly just gonna be up to you, really. So then we come down here, expert evasion. Your next roll dodge is free of cost. After consuming this effect, you cannot gain it for another 30 seconds. Pretty decent, I guess. It's all right, but it's a 30 seconds, so it's like roll dodge costs like 3k stam, so it's really nothing crazy. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the middle now. So we're at this one. So after this, you can go reduce the duration of elemental status effects applied to you. I think this was gonna be pretty decent to use because it'll make you a little bit tankier against you know, attacks and, you know, elements. So like this is gonna affect burning, chilled, concussed. The red CP tree does affect some tankiness and defensive capabilities, but it's just not like it used to be. So you have piercing gaze, which increases your stealth detection. Great, cool. Return to life after resurrection with 10% more resources per stage. I mean, maybe, but I don't think that's really worth it. And it costs 250 points. Gee whiz, that's crazy. We need to get max. Decreases the time it takes you to resurrect an ally by 33%. Now, I think that one is pretty powerful for PvP, you know, for a Zergling. But you've got to put points into this. You can get this just to the first passive though, but you can spend 50 points in here. That's kind of a lot. So then this increases the effectiveness of your damage shields and damage against shielded enemies by 8%. Wow, that's pretty spectacular. That's crazy. That's really good, actually. I could see this being used on some builds, especially because, you know, you can't get all of your damage from the blue CP tree, so this adds a little bit extra damage. While shielded, your roll dodge costs 160 less stamina per stage. That's actually not really bad. I think they're trying to make it more viable to have magic classes be kind of a roly-poly type of build. This is definitely will help with that, obviously. But this is definitely looks pretty good. You know, if you have like harness magic up and you roll dodge on a mag sorg, especially, I feel like both of these CP just max them out. And just being some insane stats, because you can run this one with the hero's vigor and get some crazy health for max orcs, and then your shields are going to be huge. So that's, I think, it's going to be pretty good. Obviously, the 50 health recovery per ultimate, it's going to be for tanks, so it's whatever, I guess. Cool. So I think these are going to be helping a lot with sustain for both PvP and PvE. But you have to kill somebody, and it only gives you 300 per stage. So it's nothing crazy, but I think this could help some for sustain. It's not going to be a major help. So now we're going to go up here to the right side. Reduces cost of block. So this is obviously going to be more of a tanky thing. So this isn't slotted, so you can use this, you know, to help offset the cost increase of light armor, block cost increase, and whatnot. So that could definitely help you with that. Increase your movement speed while bracing, so that's basically while blocking, so you move faster. Reduces the cost of bash by 45, and then increases your damage by bash by 120 per stage. So I don't know if there's gonna be bash builds or not. I'll have to see that. You know, necromancers have that skill, the ultimate, where when they bash spam. So we'll have to see what that does. That could be pretty good, but we'll see. And then on guard, while immune to crowd control, increases the amount of damage you can block by 2% per stage. So it's basically going to give you a 10% damage reduction while blocking. So just like in the blue tree, there's these staving death and extended might, and these are basically like subcategories inside. They do plan on doing these for the red tree. I feel like that would actually allow for more variation in the CP. Because right now they're pretty much, cut and dry. What's good for PvP. Health is obviously good. Cost reduction of sprint, cost reduction of roll dodge, cost reduction of blocking. You also want to get more recovery. So I think everybody's going to be running 100 or running 50 points in here to get the extra health, magic, and stamina recovery. I think it's very, 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 very important. The armor, maybe not so much. We'll have to see exactly how much that is. But it could be not a crazy amount. So this peace of mind could be low-key underrated. So increases your magic and health recovery while immune to crowd control per stage. So this could definitely help some magic classes. Maybe not necessarily stamina, but having the Unchained, this could allow if you're like maybe even magic DKs, any magic or any stamina class could really use this bonus. I mean, because it's getting 40%, so it's 160 magic recovery while I'm CC immune. That's quite a bit, especially for magic classes. That's going to be a crazy amount of recovery to really beef up your sustain. Health is obviously going to be nice, for this slotted. So I think overall, I think the best one's going to be Rejuvenation, Ironclad, Boundless Vitality. And if they change the Unchained, I would really hope so, because this really needs to be, accessible. If you have a high amount of champion points, it's not a big deal. But I only have 810 on the PTS, and on PS4 I have like 1600, almost 1700. So I have quite a bit more champion points at my disposal. So overall, I think the red CP tree is kind of vast, where you're going to spread your points out a lot. It's not so costly, I guess, as in the blue tree. You have a lot less of options that are very, very good. Like, you're not going to put any points in here for PvP, really. Unless you're a sorcerer or something, you're not really going to put a lot of points in here, so you really don't have to worry about that. You're not going to worry about points in there. Maybe into these is a possibility. Sprinting, that's all nice and all. Reduces the cost of sprint per stage. Oh, that's nothing crazy, I guess. So yeah, that's really it for the red tree. I hope they change the Unchained, like I was saying. But the red tree is pretty much straightforward. It's nothing flamboyant, nothing crazy, just cost reduction of sprint, roll dodge, sprinting and blocking, and some health bonuses and some recoveries. It's pretty cut and dry, nothing flamboyant there. But I hope these CP changes do go live. I honestly do. I think this is really going to help with the PvP meta we have right now, and really fix a lot of the problems with the tank meta and max stat healing. Now, there's going to be builds with a lot of healing. I mean, like werewolves that heal off of the maximum health. I mean, having those two passives, as well as having the CPs not buffing your stats like they used to. So in the current patch right now, champion points increase your stats. So when you go into non-CP, that's why your maximum stats like magic, health, and stamina are a lot lower. But in this patch on the PTS, when you have no champion points, then your stats are the same as they would be in CP, but just without all of the CP bonuses. So like, you'd get more health and stamina for just slotting the points, but you just don't get given the points for free, is what I'm trying to say. I think that's really going to help the health of the game. It's going to help newer players, because CPs are supposed to be additive rather than, a need. And honestly, being able to pick and choose and making build diversity, a thing is really going to help the game. I think in an aspect of in PvP and PvE, it's going to be a lot more fun. You're going to have specs that people prefer to run rather than just the best in slot, and if you don't run this, you're screwed. I mean, to a certain extent, it may end up being that way, but you're going to have a lot of options at first, and the game's going to feel basically brand new. I honestly can't wait for this to go live on PlayStation. All in all, I think these are some good changes, and I really hope to see them, in the live patch coming up pretty soon. Maybe just a few minor adjustments, but other than that, that's really it. So, I don't think I'm going to do the green tree. It's really, okay, quick. The only thing I really think that's really worth it is the reduction of fall damage, and liquid efficiency. Have a 10% chance of not using a potion or poison. I think that's really it in here. I mean, these are, you know, basically PvE stuff, you know, pickpocketing and, you know, doing all that stuff. But, you know, that's really it. You know, that's all for the champion points, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.